In Miitopia, you can pick between 14 different jobs for your team, 6 of which are available to you directly from the start of the game. Some are healers, some are damage dealers, and some are supporters. But what if you were only limited to one single job throughout the whole game? Would it still be possible? Let's find out. Quickly assume the job all my teammates will possess will be one of the first 6 jobs available from the start, and I am allowed to switch jobs at the end of Greenhorn and next door as long as I switch back to the old job once I get the chance to at the start of Karkaton. But without further ado, let's go. Miitopia, mono job run. So you might think, what job would be able to near solo the whole game on its own, especially from the first 6? Well, I went with Chef. Chef is the only class in the game that tries to be both an attacker and a healer at the same time, so I thought it would be perfect for the job. But Chef does have one weakness: magic attacks. Chef is bad when it comes to magic related things, so stuff like bosses like the Imp were pretty difficult for that reason alone. There really isn't anything else to say about the Imp except it specializes in the Chef's sole weakness. Now, most bosses in Greenhorn are single target and physical. Because of that, my Chef Onslaught could easily tear through the Golem and Griffin, healing themselves to the enemy's attack and leaving 1 or 2 Miis to deal damage. This will mainly be how our playstyle will go throughout the run. The General, however, has the AoE attack which foils our plans pretty easily. Luckily, like all my other General fights, he didn't use it that much, barely used it at all, which made the fight much more manageable than it would have otherwise been. And with that, it's on to next door. Now, with next door, I went with Scientist as my job. Pretty self-explanatory if you've seen my Mage vs Scientist analysis video. And no, Mage isn't worse than Scientist. Before you asked, I picked him Realm of the Fae, so shut up. Anyway, my other teammates were still Chefs, what a surprise. Anyway, onto the bosses now. It was during the Cobra and Tina painting fights that I noticed something was up with my team. A lack of MP. Yeah, for some reason, Chef's MP drains really easily when it's the attacker, even if its most costly skill costs 4 MP. Because of that, in all next door fights, I had to act extremely fast and kill the enemy before I ran out of MP completely and the enemy could finish on my team. Now, you might know this boss duo for hitting extremely hard, sometimes even one-shotting your Miis if they don't have high enough stats. Hint, hint, defenseless, hint, hint. And while Chef is a pretty bulky class, these bosses still knock your Mii's HP really low. Because of that, home cooking is your best friend during this boss fight. Now, surprisingly, unsurprisingly, the Pharaoh was decently easy to beat. His attacks don't deal that much damage in the slightest, so because of that, you never really run out of MP since the safe spot and curse exist. Really nothing worthwhile here, really, which is really surprising for a boss like the Pharaoh. Now, on to Realm of the Fae. Now, it wouldn't be a Daniel's Very Bored challenge run if I didn't grind relationships with Krina at the start of Realm of the Fae just like every single other time I've ever played this game. Now, for Realm of the Fae, I picked Mage, because I know from my past runs that Realm of the Fae is easily countered by magic attackers. But because Chef is a physical class and a healer at the same time, I didn't have high hopes and was just hoping that me and Krina would be able to glide through this world just like in 2 teammate and safe spots. And did it work? Let's see. This boss is notorious for hitting really hard, and because of that, the one most prone to dying was Secure, due to me being a stupid biased piece of shit who only gave food to me and Krina. Otherwise, an easy fight. And besides the Tina Spider and one other boss I'll mention later, all of the Realm of the Fae bosses went really smoothly, so like to team in a safe spot list, I'll rapid fire them through all the Realm of the Fae bosses. Here we go. Tina Owl. Literally nothing to say here. Because of my bars, Luca and Sakura were really frail and could be taken down really easily if I wasn't careful, otherwise nothing special. Same story as Witch Slime, Sakura and Luca frail, me and Krina carried the battle. During this fight, because the Tomato Bros heal Sakura, only Luca was frail, otherwise nothing special. Remember when I said that there was one other boss that was noteworthy of having its own little segment? It's this one. Usually in challenge runs, the frog is a really easy boss. Not here though. Once again, my stupid biases shine through. Sakura and Luca were both really frail and easily taken down. One big downside that Chef has is its lack of revives. I basically get my first revive in this run when I reach relationship level 20 with Resurgence. Because of that, if I lose my life sprinkles, every death is a permadeath, but somehow my biases actually helped me. Right near the end of the fight, both Sakura and Luca were taken down and only me and Krina were left. But because of how much food I had given me and Krina and because of the big relationship levels, our defense tower was really high and we could take a lot of hits as a result, along with the assists which helped deal even more damage. Because of this, I had just enough time to squeeze out of the battle. And now, on to Karkaton. Karkaton is usually the hardest part of Miitopia. This holds true for this run, although it wasn't as bad as you might imagine. Here we go. This boss I usually fight with a duo of Mage and Cleric, but this time it was Mage and Chef, so automatically it played virtually identical to all my other Pain Cloud fights. This boss is known for hitting really hard, but because I picked Chef, I had many sources of healing. Home cooking, sprinkle, safe spot, grazers to heal, feast, and sleep type for that matter. Needless to say, I beat this boss pretty easily, and now I can swap back to Chef. This battle basically played in two halves. The first half was carried by HP and Hyper Sprinkles, dealing a lot of damage quickly with the Hyper Sprinkles and using only HP Sprinkles to heal. The second half was mostly about spamming Spicy Dish. If you already have one team member pissed, you can just simply spam Spicy Dish to get some great damage output. The demon is yet again another boss known for hitting thrice with great DPS, but once again Chef managed to simply heal everyone back to full, sometimes leaving room for some team members to even attack, mainly with Spicy Dish once again. Spicy Dish from now on will be the way I will deal almost all of my damage. The way this works is because I can simply Spicy Dish one team member over and over again and just deal with the quarrel, since it's very worth it for the extremely high damage I would obtain in the process. This is the first fight in the run that shows the true potential of Spicy Dish and how much it will be useful to us later on in the run. Due to Chef being physical when it comes to attacking, that makes Hyper Sprinkles invaluable in this run. There are many bosses from now on where I hypered everyone and won in turn 3. This boss being one of those bosses. Oh, the dragon sucks so hard in this run. And you might say, damn, now this boss was a breeze in all your other ones. Why is the one where your only handicap is having everyone Chef the hardest? I'll say why. It's because this thing can spam Fire Breath really easily, which ate up my Sprinkles and HP really fast. The literal only way to beat this boss is by spamming Feast yourself, which is basically a counter to the Dragon's Fire Breath. This is by far the hardest boss in the run, and it doesn't have any special things that make it hard. It's just its tendency to spam Fire Breath makes it as hard as it is. There really isn't that much to analyze here, it's just a really hard boss. The Dark Lord isn't bad at all in this run. Even if your Mii's face gets stolen, you just hyper the remaining teammates and they take down the Dark Lord decently fast. And with that, it's on to Traveler subquests.
Disappointment in the game of life.
So the Skyscraper is usually hit or miss when it comes to difficulty in challenge runs. In some it's really hard and in some it's piss easy. This one is on the easier side, but not completely. Here we go. This boss is basically a harder Dark Lord. Dark Lord was super easy, so automatically this didn't pose a threat to the run at all. Since Chef is a physical attacker, I was a bit worried here. The Gold General is only reliably taken down with magic attacks, but I was lucky enough to not have the Golem block every single physical attack. He only really blocked one, making this fight a piece of cake. Remember when I said that some bosses I just hypered my team and beat in turn 2? This is one of those bosses. So remember when I said in my other runs that this boss's tadpoles are near impossible to take down? Well, here I harbored my whole team and they first went for the tadpoles, killing them in 2 turns, then moving on to the frog, which they killed in around the same time without hypers. This basically means that the HP stat between this boss and its tadpoles are roughly the same. Wow. So Darkest Lord is among the hardest bosses in challenge runs. It was among the hardest in Safe Spot lists and the hardest in defenses. Here, I killed it in turn 3. Okay, I need to explain. So because every teammate who went against the hands were at least level 16, I ended up killing the hands with only using 40 HP sprinkles, 2 shield sprinkles, and my life sprinkle. This meant that I had 300 HP sprinkles, all MP sprinkles, and all hyper sprinkles at my disposal against this guy, while in my other runs I didn't have any sprinkles on me thanks to using them all during the hands. Thanks to the absurdity of hyper sprinkles, I hypered my whole team, except for me, used horseplay, and killed him in turn 3. Pathetic. Anyways, that's all. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.